Hello there, I'm Frida Muyambo, and I bring you all the wonderful, inspirational recipes over at My Burnt Orange. Today, I am happy to report that in my first week, I lost 2.3 kilograms. For people who use pounds, that's about 5 pounds, and I am really pleased with those results. I had to go back to eating the way I used to, and in a way that I had grown up afraid of, basically. So I was eating rice, I was eating beans, I was eating potatoes, and you know something, these are carbohydrates, but the only difference was there was a lot less sugar and a lot less oil in my diet. I'm just going to quickly run through from the 1st of January right through to the 7th of January. So 1st of January, I had a slice of bread for breakfast. I love peanut butter sandwiches with banana on top. I absolutely love it, and I had that. For lunch, oh, I remember this day. So it was New Year's Day. We went out for lunch. We had a family lunch. We took the kids out, and I actually entered it as chicken mushroom pie. It seemed to be the closest thing in the Slimming World database, and that was 12.5 cents. So it looks like on my first day I actually had 17 cents, which is 2 cents over what I should be having, you know, in order to lose weight. But for me, that was okay. And I remember that on that day I had a really late breakfast. You know, it was close to noon, and by the time we had our lunch, it was about 4 o'clock. So I was pretty much done for the day. So on the second day, for breakfast, I made some healthy banana, oat, and raspberry cakes. So instead of just having a bowl of oats, I made them into muffins, which I could just grab and go. So, and I remember I had them that day and the next day. Those I actually counted as 1 cent each, which is fantastic. So I knew exactly what I was eating. And again, that was quite late in the day. You know, we are just easing in out of the holidays, and I ate closer to lunchtime. So instead of lunch, I had a snack a little later on, and it was just bananas and coffee, grapes and apples. For dinner, I had an amazing dinner, which was roasted beetroot and pumpkin with grilled chicken. So in total, my second day was a great day in terms of sins. I had 7.5 sins, which is actually half of the sin allowance. So I know that I have 7.5 sins I can use on another day. That's how I do it, and I did it, and it worked. Third day summary, I had one of my favorite breakfasts. It was eggs, which that's a free food. I fried in a low-calorie spray, baked beans, mushrooms, onions. I love that breakfast. It was so good. Baked beans and beans in general have a lot of protein, they have a lot of fiber. They are good for you. For lunch, I had the same thing I had for dinner, which was the roasted pumpkin and beetroot salad with chicken. Very filling. I enjoyed it. And for dinner, I had roast potatoes and a little bit of oil, which is okay. And the sin value it came up with was only 3 sins, and grilled chicken. So that was a healthful day. I felt so good. I felt so full. And all in all, it was only 7 sins. For the fourth day, it was one of my indulgent days because I had a little bit of champagne. You've got to live. So I had 22.5 sins in that day, but remember I had saved up 7.5 sins from the day before, so we have a 15-15 even for the 2 days, which is fine. So for breakfast, I had my banana oat muffins and a coffee with soy milk. For lunch, I had roast potatoes with tuna, baked beans, and some Mediterranean vegetables. You know, this is just your peppers, capsicums, onions. If you have eggplant, you just spray them with a little low-calorie spray and stick them in the oven until they are roasted and they get so sweet and so tasty. So that's what I had for lunch. For dinner I had rice. I had sambal tumis. It's a Malaysian thing. For Ghanaians it's a bit like shito. It's just a lot of onion, tomato and pepper with some ground shrimp or ground dried fish. So I had 2 tablespoons of that with my rice. I allowed for half a tablespoon of oil basically for each serving. I had that with mixed salad leaves and chicken breast. For snack, I had fat-free Greek yogurt with fresh pineapples. I also had my coffee, and I also had 1 oat banana muffin that I made as a snack with my coffee, and that counted as 1 sin. It's amazing. Then I had my 3 glasses of champagne. On the 5th day, it was a really good day. Again, I had eggs, baked beans, caramelized onion, and crispy bacon. For lunch, I had rice. I had a few anchovies. Again, I had my sambal tumis, which is a little bit like shito, and char grilled chicken breast. For dinner, I went out again. I caught up with a friend. I had a cider, and cider is 8 cents. That's a lot. So when you count the fact that you're drinking, just in one drink, it's half the allowance of your sin value, then it makes it easier to make better choices. But this was afternoon by the poolside with my kids. I also had these cheese stuffed jalapenos, which I counted as a healthy extra, and the jalapenos were free. I also had some chicken wings. For snack, I had pineapple again with my fat-free yogurt. And this is the thing, you chop up a big bowl of pineapples or whatever fruit, keep it in the fridge so that whenever you want your snacks, it's there on tap. My 6th day, for breakfast, I had some bread with fresh tomatoes sliced on top. It was so good. I was full and I really enjoyed it. Lunch, I had roast potatoes with some steak and char grilled Mediterranean vegetables. And I sprinkled a little bit of feta cheese on those Mediterranean vegetables, which was fantastic, but that's a healthy extra A. So we took the kids out for dinner, and we had cabbage salad, which is amazing. It was amazing. And also a seafood burger. So I looked for foods that were very similar with a high sin value and just entered it. For my cabbage salad, I just looked for the closest dressing. It was a sesame and soy salad dressing, 1 level tablespoon, 6 sins, I just entered that. So altogether I had 16.5 sins. On the 7th day, I actually felt like, I began to doubt whether I would actually lose any weight. I thought, I've indulged a lot more than I thought I would. Friday night had some champagne, ate out on Saturday and Sunday and Monday, which was the actual first day, New Year's Day. So I was feeling a few doubts. So I decided that the 7th day would be a day where I would focus on speed food. So this is having an abundance of vegetables with loads of fiber. So this is what I had. For breakfast, I had loads of fruit topped with yogurt, my fat-free yogurt, entirely free, 100% free. For lunch, if I can be brutally honest, I wasn't that hungry, but I had an egg salad with loads of vegetables, and I was satisfied. It was all good. If I had hunger pangs, I would go and grab a potato or an apple or anything. If you're hungry, eat. Just eat the right things. For dinner, I wanted to have pepper soup, but we didn't have the ingredients for pepper soup, so we made a Ghanaian light soup with goat meat. And light soup is water, onions, tomatoes, loads of whole okra, and your goat meat, no added oil. All the fat was already trimmed, and goat actually doesn't have as much fat as things like lamb or beef. So that's what I had for dinner, a big bowl of it, and my goodness, I was satisfied. Honestly, it was a virtually sin-free day. I can't believe it. And then I had my weigh-in, and I had lost 2.3 kilograms, and that is fantastic. That is proof that nourishing your body and eating the right things, and you can actually lose weight, you can actually lead a healthy life. So this was my first week. Stay in touch with me on Instagram. I post most of what I eat in my stories every day. I post recipes and I post videos. Thank you so much for joining me. And don't forget to subscribe. If you like this video, please share it. If you found it inspiring, please share it and stay in touch. Thank you.